work, 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 work. To me, I get work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. Just tell me about that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 line. In the girls and murder, da, 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 da. Drive me a dessert. Nothing to have you lurking.
Yeah.
You make a like, now you not like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the righteous. Nobody text me in a crisis. I believe that all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, I must leave a decoration. You mistaken my love, I brought for you for phone, dear.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl Miss Angie, and I'm back with another video. And as you see from the title, I'm here to talk about my top podcast, the top podcast that I love to listen to for motivation. So before we get into the video, I just want to say how crazy it is that the summer is like flying by. It's like the kids are about to be back to school in a few weeks, and it's just crazy to me. My daughter, she is going to be going to first grade. My bonus daughter is going to 8th grade, and my son is currently trying to walk, trying to crawl, chewing on his hands, clearly teething, like trying to eat baby food. Like, he's doing it all. So he's trying to grow up, trying to clearly catch up to them. But anyways, I just love it. I'm happy that we were able to spend time with the kids this summer, because I feel like family time is very important, and just that spending time with the kids is so important. I love the fact that, you know, just getting together and doing things on the weekend. Like me and my daughter, we went to see the Barbie movie Saturday, which was really good. It had its few little spots in there, but the movie was good. And then we also went to a play that we were invited to by my friend. We ended up going to the play, what was that, Saturday, and the play was directed by youth and acted out by youth. And I just loved how they did really great in theater, and just how they acted and everything. It was just it was so good. And my daughter watching that, like, she might even want to get in the theater. Now, currently she's been over here trying to do cartwheels and everything else. Like, she want to get into gymnastics, and so we just trying to figure it out this year. I definitely want to get her into some extracurricular activities as far as other than just school, you know. So but yeah, I would love if she decided she wanted to get into theater or whatever she wants to do. I just feel like it was just good seeing that youth doing, you know, something as far as acting, and, you know, just something that you could tell that they enjoyed it for sure. So I just want to say all of that as far as like family time is just so important. And it's like you look up and the kids will be off to school, graduating, driving, like the whole nine. Like, you have to just spend that time with the kids, because before you know it, they're gonna be grown. And I love quality time with the kids. So it's sad that the summer is ending, but hey, we about to get into full focus now on school, and that's about to fly by for sure. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into the video. And I'm going to start with the first, and of course, you know, I always got my notes. So first, I'm going to start with the Co-Parenting Your Thrive Guide podcast, and this is by Miss Deborah. And I love the fact that she talks about communication. She talks about just overall, you know, issues or things that you deal with when you co-parent. And I decided to listen to this podcast because, of course, when you have a child that's in between two homes, I just want to personally educate myself. I want to make the process easy for my daughter, and I want it to be, you know, try to have or learn how to have some form of, you know, communication, and keep it positive for her as far as being, you know, in the situation between two different parents. So I definitely recommend this podcast if you are dealing with co-parentship and, you know, just trying to balance that for the kids. I definitely recommend. The next podcast is Brini Lee. She is what I call the British flair. She has a little spice to her, and I recently just started listening to her, so I didn't really go too far back in her podcast, but I plan on doing it. I just love her style. She talks about everyday life and just personal things that she has been through. And she's also on YouTube, so if you want to look her up on YouTube also, if you don't have a podcast, you know, or if you don't use podcasts, I definitely recommend listening to her. She has some really good gems, so I highly recommend. The next one is the Self-Love Fix, and this podcast is by Beatrice, and Beatrice also has her own little flair to her as well. I listen to her podcast and she talks about money manifestation. She's also a empowerment coach, or I don't want to say it wrong, but in her bio it talks about the coaching that she does, just overall the same thing, talking about life obstacles. But she also I like the way that she puts into perspective of, don't look at yourself as the problem, because a lot of situations that we're in, we look at, okay, it's my fault, I'm the problem. She looks at the situation as a whole. Don't just jump to blaming yourself. So she, like I said, she has a lot of great episodes on her podcast, and she's also another person I have to kind of go back, because I just recently started listening to her. I want to say it's been maybe going into a year or two now. So I definitely recommend her for sure as a positive motivation podcast to listen to. The next podcast is the Slay Girl Slay self-empowerment podcast by Miss Ashley Legs. I love it. This is one of my top ones, even though, like I said, I don't really have a top one, but she's like my all-time go-to. She posts her podcast every Monday, and she talks about everything. She talks about her own personal life. She talks about how she had lived in California and she was chasing her dream job, and then how she changed over and ended up getting into starting the podcast, and how when she started her podcast, how she thought that maybe this might be the wrong move, because it was kind of like a rough start. And I just love how genuine she is and how positive she is, and I love it. And also, she started another podcast, which is called the Good News Podcast, and that is also a podcast that is just based on stories of other people talking about different situations that they have been through. This is also the first season, and I enjoyed it. I just enjoy anything Ashley puts out. I love it. I follow her on Instagram. I also follow Beatrice on Instagram too. So they also have IG. And it's just positivity. It just lifts my day. Every Monday when I listen to it, it's like, okay, I needed that message. Like, I needed that. Like, on time, every Monday, I'd be like, okay, I needed that. And it was great on her podcast. She also interviewed her dad, and I love it because I'm very close to my dad. And the podcast, the interview with her and her dad was just so real. It was like, almost like if they were just sitting there talking to each other. And he just sounded so comfortable and relaxed, and I just love it. I just love how genuine and positive she is. And I listen, like I said, I listen every Monday. And with the job that I work, I usually like to throw in my headphones and listen to my podcast for motivation, because some days you be at work like, I'm ready to go, it's time to leave. But when you have something positive to listen to, especially if you're on a journey of healing, or you're on the journey of just trying to listen to something that'll keep you motivated, these are the podcasts for sure to listen to. So anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to your girl's channel. And I'm working on more content, trying to get more content out there, like with the family and work. It takes time for sure, but I have a lot that I want to put out on my channel. So you guys just stay tuned. Once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Leave a decoration. Mistaken my love, I brought for you for phone, dear.